All right, so recently I watched this interview on Valuetainment with Tom Brady. Really like Valuetainment, really like Tom Brady, so obviously why I watched it. Highly recommend Valuetainment as a YouTube channel. I think they're, I don't know where they're all at right now, but very good channel. And this was a very, very good interview. And afterwards, I seen this clip recently, which is a very, very good clip. And of all the success clips or motivational kind of clips, this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. So I'm going to play it quick. I'll talk quick about it.
I would complain all the time that the guys ahead of me were getting more opportunity than I was. There was a certain amount of repetitions in practice. The starter would get 20, the backup would get 10, and I would get 2. And I'd go in and I'd say, well, how can I ever get better? All these guys get all the reps and I only get 2. And he said, just go in there and focus with the 2 that you got and make them as perfect as you possibly can. So I said, okay. So that's what I did. They'd put me in for those 2. Man, I'd sprint in there like it was Super Bowl 49. Let's go, boys. Here we go. What play we got? And I did really well with those 2 because I brought enthusiasm. I brought some energy, and I had a little more confidence in myself. And it went from 2 reps to getting 4 reps because those 2 were pretty good. Then I had 4 good reps. Then I got 10 good reps. And before you knew it, through this new attitude, through this new shift that Greg had said to me, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're getting, not what anyone else is getting. Whenever you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You treat it like it's the Super Bowl. You treat it like it's game day. Go out there and treat practice like no one else does. And I did that every single day. And it was a lot. It was taxing on me. There was a lot of stress for me, even in high school. And I look back at those times, it wasn't probably like a typical college experience because I was really motivated to play. But I had to take it to a new, I would complain.
All right, so that's the clip. And again, a lot of people, people know Tom Brady is, greatest quarterback of all time now. But what a lot of people don't know is, again, it wasn't until his second or third year of being in the NFL that he actually made a name for himself, right? So, it was a grind all of high school, all of college. That's what, 7 years, 8 years, where, again, no one knew who the hell he was. He wasn't even a starter until his second last year in college. Again, that was a redshirt year, or he redshirted, so again, 4 years of college just to become the starter, right? And it wasn't until the 5th year where he was the clear-cut starter, right? So the point is that it's not always going to come easy. It will for some people, but it's not always going to come easy. And a lot of people, again, I noticed this in my personal job and even just in life in general, people just complain endlessly about everything. But you don't really have I wouldn't say you don't really. You don't have a right to complain about anything to where you're not giving it your all to make a change, right? And not only that, a lot of times it's not an instant thing. Like, look at this situation, right? You don't have the greatest practice of all time and go from being, the 4th string quarterback to, the starter. It's not how it works, right? You don't work out once and go from being out of shape to in shape. You don't diet for a week and go from being obese to with abs, right? That's not how it works. It is a endless grind. You don't go from being broke to rich overnight. Just not how it works. And people have been sold this garbage, idiotic mentality nowadays that you shouldn't have to work to have nice things. Now again, there definitely is some legitimacy to those complaints. I'm not saying there's literally none. But if you want to average it out, the vast majority of the time, the problem is not it's too hard to get by. The problem is you're not working hard enough. Or maybe you are working hard, but you're still doing stupid stuff that affects your ability to succeed, right? So again, if you're not where you want to be, whether it's your fitness, your finances, in your job, you name it, the first question you need to be asking yourself is, are you making the most of the opportunity you're getting? And the point I'm trying to make is that probably 95% of the time, the answer to that is no. And typically it's a resounding no. Like, it's not even close. Like, again, I know people personally at the job that I work at that complain that they can't get ahead, and yet they literally do the bare minimum to get by. Like, literally the bare minimum. I mean, there's people. I mean, there's someone I know that doesn't even do the bare minimum that still complains that they can't get by. Right? And that's the big problem that we face nowadays. Is there's so many people that do the absolute bare minimum and yet complain that they are struggling. Right? And I'm not saying there's people that aren't doing as much as humanly possible that are still struggling. Obviously, those people exist. But again, as an aggregate, there's way more people that are doing the bare minimum, right? As an aggregate, it's not even close, right? So again, this is a absolutely great piece of advice coming from Tom. I think it's very valuable, and I think a lot more people. I mean, imagine if everybody adopted this mindset in society. Like, our standards of livings would go through the roof. Like, we would see, like, you know, the amount of growth to our standard of living over the last 100 years. We would see that again, right? And again, one of the biggest reasons that we're not seeing, you know, that our standards of livings are kind of stagnating is that, again, so many people just do the bare minimum, right? And again, that's a terrible mentality to have. So anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up today. If you liked the video, hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.